Okay, Mark, into our next segment, I'm joined on set by attorney at law, Martin George. Mr. George, welcome. Best wishes for the new year.
Thank you, and
You've
same
not
to you.
been here in a while.
Yes, it's been a while.
Thank you. Best wishes to you as well. There are a number of issues we can all talk on. The revelations in the parliament about major salaries yesterday coming. But let's start in Tobago.
Yes.
Maternal deaths. Rose Gordon died New Year. And following that, physicians have been suspended. You last won a case in Tobago. That would have been Lucina Shepherd and her infant back in May 2015.
Yes, that's right.
They died in October 2014. Chronic problem in Tobago?
Well, the thing is, the problem is really institutional. And it's the institution of the TRHA that keeps failing. And unless and until we address the institutional problems within the TRHA, unfortunately, we are going to see more of these scenarios occurring. I'll tell you why. It's a very nice, neat, knee-jerk reaction to say, well, you have suspended the physicians and therefore you basically seek to satisfy the call for some kind of redress or some kind of, action to be taken. But ask yourself, and this is something I would pose to you as a journalist, Leron, dig a bit deeper. The first report from the pathologist, Professor Daisley, indicated one of his findings was hypovolemic shock, which means that you've had like a massive loss of blood and it's not been replaced. From what we have been told, what our preliminary investigations seem to reveal, it appears that the TRHA had blood. And from what we are being informed, it appears that that blood was held back. Now, we're not saying this as a definitive statement, but I'm asking you, ask the TRHA, ask the THA, ask Mr. Orville London, who heads the THA, to answer that question. Were there supplies of blood available while this emergency surgery was being carried out? And you have the pathologist reporting that one of the causes of death was massive loss of blood. So in other words, how could an institution justify withholding blood when someone is in emergency surgery? The surgeons are calling for blood to be supplied, and the allegation is that the blood was held back and not sent up. 2 units were sent up, but I understand that there were more units available. But as I say, let's ask the question. Let's ask Mr. Orville London to explain that, because we see him in the press expressing his sorrow and his concern, but we must move beyond that. It can't just be nice words and platitudes and you deliver a eulogy at the funeral and you say all these nice things. Let's get to the hardcore facts. And I asked this morning on television, was there a scenario where you had additional units of blood available and these were not made, present for the use of the surgeons, and then you you suspend the surgeons as a result? Ask yourself what is really happening here. You saw Dr. Maria Dillon Remy, who is a consummate professional. She resigned from the TRHA board. And from what we are being told, she resigned in frustration at the way the TRHA is functioning. So